What the city is talking about. This is Montreal Now on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Well, the majority, the numbers that the U.S. have gave us concerning the 25,000 illegal migrants that crossed the border from all over Canada, there's quite a big numbers concerning India, migrants coming from India. So that's the major percentage of those migrants that crossing the border from Canada to U.S.
So that's Francois Bonnardel, the minister today, talking about his meeting with U.S. Homeland Security. And again, it's about the border. And I don't think there's anything new there. We learned that a while ago, right? The issue here is not people coming into Canada. It's people crossing the border from here into the U.S. James Mennie at the Montreal Gazette's on the line. So, Jim, as I said, there's not a whole lot new in here, is there? So why is this a story today?
I think it's a story because Bonnardel made it quite clear that he doesn't want to have a Roxham 2.0 no matter what happens, going either way. And I was listening for it. I didn't hear it on any of the clips, but I saw him quoted in writing to the effect that I need a plan from Trudeau. I need something in writing in the next few days, which of course he's not going to get because the entire hallmark of the federal government is to, spout slogans off and give out, inspiring tweets and not really come down with any sort of concrete plan. We know the RCMP is going to be in place. We know they're going to be backed up by the Sûreté du Québec. What I like about this story, though, Aaron, is that how the center of gravity has basically shifted around. I mean, apart from a lot of hand-wringing American celebrities who may or may not follow through on their pledges to move to Canada, if Trump is elected, we're seeing the traffic's going the other way. Because why? Because it remains, no matter who's in charge, it remains the hottest economy on the planet. It remains, for many people, a land of opportunity, of perhaps, a quicker route to fame and fortune. America remains this great magnet for immigration, legal or otherwise. So it's going to be very, very fascinating to see just how big a job we do, how can I put it, protecting the border of the U.S., which is basically what Donald Trump has ordered Justin Trudeau to do, or whether we'll come up with another, I don't think, honestly, that we'll be able to explain our way out of this with a breathless 30-second video posted online or a tweet. I think we're out of that territory now, Aaron. Whether we like it or not, we're working for Donald Trump, and I think he's going to expect results. And if he doesn't get results, turning around and mouthing pious wishes that you wish the world was a better place is simply not going to cut it.
Okay, look, we talked about the meeting yesterday, and it's going to be the basis for the question again. I asked this just after 2:00. Have you changed your opinion a couple of days later on whether Justin Trudeau should have gone there or not in the first place?
Not at all. He never should have went. He could have taken a leaf from the president of Mexico's book, stand tall, say, listen, you know what, we don't want to do this. You come after us, we're going to come after you. And it's as simple as that. And rather than scurrying down there, and I know, Aaron, our political insiders look at this as a Machiavellian coup, a triumph for Justin Trudeau. But you know what? I'm not a political insider. You know who else isn't a political insider? Serge Chapelot over at La Presse. Have you seen his cartoon today?
No.
Depicting Justin Trudeau as a waiter at Mar-a-Lago offering Donald Trump more meatloaf. That's pretty much what happened there. And frankly, you can look high and low. I know people, it's just a joke. Never in the history of the United States or in the history of Canada has a president in the face of a Canadian prime minister in public joked about annexing Canada to the U.S. Please, this is not a joke. This is a reminder to Justin Trudeau to know his role, which is why Trudeau's entourage is standing on their heads trying to spin, it's not a big deal. If nothing else, it was gauche, which I fully expect from Donald Trump, but it was also extremely disrespectful. Guess what? Get used to that. And quite frankly, I don't think scurrying down to Mar-a-Lago every time the temperature rises by 5 degrees is going to be a solution for Justin Trudeau.
Okay. I was surprised that Donald Trump knew there were 50 states, but that's a different story.
No, but you're right. This is the problem, Aaron. The guy is a complete doofus, okay? But he's a doofus who, as far as I'm concerned, publicly pushed around the Prime Minister of Canada on Friday night, and now there is this great movement afoot to make this look like some kind of triumph. Ladies and gentlemen, put on your protective goggles something's going to hit the fan by next January. And if we're lucky, it'll just be the tariffs, although I think it may go beyond that.
All right, let me move on and talk about what's going on here. There are actually a couple of announcements today out of Quebec City that caught people by surprise. Let's start with Pascal Derry, the higher education minister, coming out and letting us know that there'll be an investigation into Dawson and Vanier over students there feeling uncomfortable, threatened, pick the right word, over demonstrations that have been going on there with respect to what's happening in the Middle East. What's really interesting is Vanier issued a statement saying they were not aware of this, and Dawson is just now in the process of issuing a statement on this. So you kind of wonder, how did this get to Quebec before it got to the institutions themselves, or who hasn't been telling the truth here?
I think this is simply a continuation of Francois Legault tweeting last weekend that the Montreal Police Department should start doing its job and enforcing the law the next time pro-Palestinian demonstrators decide to bust up the town, and then offer the help of the Sûreté du Québec if your own cops aren't able to do it. It's not just me. The head of the Montreal Police Union this week was in an interview saying he realized, he understood exactly what Legault was saying, and he found it insulting to Montreal police. But the fact is, they used to have laws, for example, that you cannot demonstrate wearing a mask, that you cannot, and in fact, it also, how can I put it, they tested the whole idea of kettling, which is mass arrest.
Right. Both
these things were knocked down, not in the Supreme Court, but at Superior Court, as being unconstitutional, as if the Constitution really counts for anything in Francois Legault's Quebec these days. But and it's never appealed. So they're looking, the police union is saying we need more tools. We can do this job, but not under the present circumstances. But honestly, I think the message is very clear from Francois Legault, not necessarily to Valérie Plante or Fadi Daguerre. I think he thinks they're irrelevant to his political landscape. I think it's more to Montrealers, saying if nothing else, the province cares what's happening in your streets, and we are suggesting quite loudly that not enough is being done, be it at the law enforcement level, be it at the governance level at various institutional centers such as Vanier and Dawson. We'll wait and hear what they have to say, but I'm also going to be interested. I'll be fascinating to see what this investigation yields in terms of how people are in fact feeling. If you don't feel safe in the school where you're going, I'm not entirely sure that you would necessarily file a complaint with the school itself. You might go around that. You might go straight to the ministry. I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens there. But clearly, Francois Legault is making it clear, this time through Pascal Derry, his Minister of Higher Education, that he doesn't think enough is being done in Montreal to deal with the problems, to deal with the disruptions being caused by the pro-Palestinian demonstrations in this town. So, and quite frankly, I think you can expect to see more down the road. And don't be surprised, Aaron, if this government turns around and decides to pass, an act respecting demonstrations in the city of Montreal, where they'll bring back the mask ban, where they will bring back the idea of kettling demonstrators and then sorting out who should have been arrested and who shouldn't have been arrested, after the fact. But yeah, I get a feeling that something's going on here with Francois Legault, who quite frankly needs a win of some kind, who needs to be seen to be doing something after his terrible poll results, even though he's insisting now that he's going to stay on. But yeah, I think you're going to see more on this in the weeks to come. So
I'm just reading Dawson's statement just very quickly. It's interesting. First of all, it says Dawson commits to collaboration, right, with the ministry, with their investigation. But it also goes on in its opening paragraph to basically say it was not aware, it received no information about the government's plan, which is typical for this government, right? They just simply don't consult. People learn about this through their PR announcements, or they learn about it through the media, including in this case as well, which is, I don't know. It just seems ridiculous, but that's apparently what we get now. Well, that's how, listen, they do answer to the ministry. That's the thing. They do, whether we like it or not, they do answer to the ministry. And also, you have to be very, very careful. If there's ever a verb that does a lot of heavy lifting in Quebec, it's commit. I commit to drinking less coffee every day. I'm not exactly sure that commitment follows through. But, we'll see what happens. But I wasn't really expecting them to turn around and issue a flat denial because, frankly, they probably don't even know what's going on. And they'll have to wait and see what this investigator is going to find out. But as I say, this isn't for the benefit of Dawson or Vanier. I think it's for the benefit of potential CAQ supporters on the island of Montreal who are going to see this government. Listen, folks, we're paying attention to what's going on in your city, even if no one else seems to, and we're going to take steps to correct it. Let me get to this before we run out of time. We found out about, half an hour ago, Christian Dubé, the health minister, finally let us know What would happen here if you come here to study in Quebec, right, as a doctor, and you then decide you want to go into the private system? Not going to happen. So he's saying it's 5 years you must commit to the public system. And if you somehow don't, you're looking at a fine, I think I heard this right, of $200,000. So, Jim, your take on that?
You know what? There's part of me that says this is ridiculous government interference, but on the other hand, when you look at the fact that we're so short on doctors, that we need this network desperately needs doctors in Quebec, it's desperate measures. But then again, Aaron, we can't deny these are desperate times.
All right, we'll see where this story goes. We'll try to find, I'm sure when we first talked about this, Jim, by the way, the backlash from the medical community, from universities as well, it was there, thinking that this is completely unfair. And what it will do is end up, well, nobody would want to come here if you have to commit to spend 5 years in the public system in this province when you graduate. But we'll see. Was that overreaction? I don't know. Jim, thank you. Appreciate it.
Matt.